You know him?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Matt Cox. He might be here. We'll see.
Okay.
Oh, we're live. So, hey, this is Federal Prison Talk, and I'm going to play my little jingle, and we'll be right back. And we're back. We're live and made it on time today. And so far, the camera hasn't broke. There's no echo.
No echo
And
today.
man, I've always been told audio first, video second. Because if they can't hear you, they won't watch.
Yep. Yeah. That's it's kind of like aviation. You.
I do hear an echo. Are you watching?
That's what.
Huh?
No, I'm not.
I hear something. No.
Nope. Maybe TV in the background. There's a TV on
Oh,
the
that's,
side.
okay, that's what it was. All right. If you, because sometimes people want to watch themselves on the YouTube channel while they're on the show, and it'll echo.
Yeah.
Anyways, I put in the topic what lawyers won't tell you. I was just looking for something. I was trying to come up with something, but that doesn't have to be the topic on this channel. But I got the thing hooked up too. If somebody wants to call in, I'll put that on in a minute. And anybody out there watching, well, we got one person so far. Ask questions, ask away. I've been to federal prison. He's gonna go. Yeah, he's gonna go. I mean, there's no guarantees, but with the feds, if they don't take him this time, they are known to come back. If you win that trial, you piss them off, and you're in their, you're in the red book now. So they're gonna get a win, or you're gonna die first. Something like
that's another reason why I took the plea, was to make sure that no other charges come back ever. So that's part of it.
Yeah, I mean that plea, and they give you like one offer. In the States, you can refuse 2-3 times. They start off with 20 years, go down to 10, and take the deal for 4. They don't do that in the feds.
Yep. Yeah, these guys, they came back and.
I've heard of them renegotiating a deal, but there's a lot on the table. But that's not the same thing as taking the first deal and not doing it. There's a comment in here. Let's see. ATL. How do you know paperwork in the low? How do you know? So I was in a federal prison camp. You're not allowed to have paperwork, but they don't really care there because in a low, I hate to tell you, it's going to be at least 50% child molesters. Pretty much every low, and they kind of. I've heard the stories. They have their own little gangs and all this stuff. Lows are not that violent, and those people usually are not known. Well, if they're violent against little kids, they have no problem. But when they get to prison, I hear they have their own little gangs now, and you're not even allowed to talk to them, even nicely. If you can't ask them about the charges, they will throw you in the shoe. So in a low, paperwork is really who are you going to show? They might want to see your paperwork, and if you're not a child molester, you could have problems. It's come to that, man. Paperwork is mainly in the mediums and the penitentiaries. I mean, it's required. In a federal prison camp, you can't even have your own paperwork. If the COs catch you with that, they throw you in the chute. They're pretty strict on that. Although, people, you're not really asked for your paperwork unless like the Pisces kind of run the camps. And if you don't know what a Pisces is, you can ask me. But they might want your paperwork so you can join up with them or something. But that's their own little internal investigation they do on you. The other prisons, though, man, you got to have that paperwork. And if you don't got my paperwork, you better get it. You better find somebody who can get it, or you're not staying here. What do you mean you're not staying there? They're dead serious about it. But in a low, your paperwork's going to say, I guess you would want it to say you're a snitch. I mean, I don't know. RDAP Dan, I invited in. He spent a few years in a low. He would be the guy to answer that if he comes on. I hope he does. Yeah, I just know paperwork's required in penitentiary, pretty much in a medium too. And the camps, nobody really cares. Half the people in the camps were working in offices, and they all told on each other anyways. I had a fiance who wore a wire on me, and I tried to snitch back on her. They said, "Oh, it don't work that way." We want
Mm.
you. We're not trying to get her. We want you. So, but she ended up going to prison anyways. I don't know what kind of deal they gave her because I wasn't allowed to even talk to her. But she got 29 months and all that. I don't know what she was looking at before. I know when we got indicted, she kept doing it. We were doing those phony taxes for homeless and stuff. She kept doing it and doing it. She didn't care. But anyway, John, what's going on? I mean, yeah, what's going on? Brian, what's going on with you? I got your name
Not
wrong, but you're going to come on the show too, guys.
not not much. We're just starting to get some more paperwork back. We're getting down to within 50 days of my sentencing hearing. So
Yeah,
getting more and more paperwork in and seeing more things that are coming across. And
yeah. Let me
finally
answer
got
this
some.
question real quick here. He says, "So when I self-surrender, do I take my paper? Don't do that. You won't even. It'll be a week before you get. They'll send you to the shoe right away. You can't have your paperwork, even in the USPs. Although once you're in there, I mean, all the guards know what's going on, but you're still not supposed to have it. Period. Don't bring it in, and if you have it mailed in, they screen your mail. So I'm not sure how to get it in to tell you the truth. Ask the people in there; they know. I never had to worry about it. But you wouldn't be going to a penitentiary if you're talking to me now. Most out of probably 500 people that I've talked to and done interviews with, 3 went to a medium and self-surrendered, and that was so rare. And they had ankle bracelets and everything else. And when they got to their designation, I remember one guy. The 2 of them have been on the show and talked about that. When they go to check in, they don't even have a check-in system, and the guards are telling them, "People don't check in here. How'd you just walk in here? We don't know what to do." They had no clue. They don't do self-surrender. So if you're out on pretrial, you've got a 99% chance you're not going to a medium. You're going to a low or a camp. And Brian, did I evaluate you yet on the custody level?
No, I'm gonna be a camp if I go.
Okay.
I'll be a camp.
I got a whole packet to do a custody level
Hmm.
classification to find out your numbers on where you're going to go. I know the sensitivity guidelines, all those numbers, that's for how much time you're going to get. There's another set of numbers for where you're going to go. You need 11 points or less to go to a camp, 12 to 15 to a low, 17 to 20 for a medium, and 21 and up, you're going to a penitentiary. I tell you this right now: if you're under 25 years old, you get 8 points right off the gate, and so you only get 3 points left. But if you self-surrender, they take off 3. So you basically, if you self-surrender, you're going to start with minus 3 points, and you need 11 to get into camp. So you got a lot of wiggle room. The 2 things that'll get you is your criminal history category. That's 1
Hmm.
through 6. Those will add up a lot of points, up to 8 points in your age. So if you're over like 45, I think you get 2 points. You're okay. But man, when you're hardly any youngsters are in camps because of that number. 8 points right
Yeah,
off the bat. So you don't
yeah.
see a
Most
lot
of
of
them.
5.
I think they said the medium age in a camp is like 56 or something. It's fairly
Oh, it
high.
went up. My guess was around 45, but 56 is, yeah, I could see that, no problem. Yeah, you don't see a lot of people under 30 or under 40 in there, really. You will, but not the numbers that you would think. You know.
And a lot of them now are COVID related people that are in camps. A lot of it's COVID relief fund issues or PPPs and
Mm.
the people that have lied on those things and
Yeah,
um,
it was that when I was in there, it was the scammers and stuff, but half of it was drug mules, or somebody in charge, but they got them on like the RICO Act or something,
yeah.
But there were your your gangster tankster with the guns and all those guys up. They're not going to camps usually. They got caught with in a violent crime with the guns, and so a
Yeah, if
lot of
it's a violent gun related at all violent, you're automatically in a low immediate. And same thing with the child molesters and the mediums and
yeah,
lows.
yeah. I mean, there was people that had gun charges, but the guns weren't used in the crime. They
Yeah,
might have had them at their house and they were registered and stuff. They call it gun enhancement, and sometimes they throw 5 more years on you for that. But as long as it wasn't used in a crime, or especially a violent crime, it was something separate. You just had a possession of it at your house. You could go to a camp.
so many gun things are changing now with the Bruin decision and with the new bump stock laws, and ATF is getting themselves in all kind of problems. The courts are throwing away most of those charges now.
Oh, really? They're going away. Federal
Yeah,
courts going away?
yeah. The ATF got in a tremendous amount of trouble over the last week. There's a whole bunch of different rulings that just came out. They were trying to
Manufacturing trouble? What?
No, and what happened with ATF is they're trying to regulate things that they're not delegated to regulate. So the Congresses came out and a lot of the courts have came out and told them that they're not eligible to regulate those. The bump stocks were one of them. Bump stocks were never listed as a destructive device. It was the same thing with pistol braces.
Well, that's like I could take a piece of plastic and just jam it in there and turn it into semi-auto. It's kind of what a bump stock is in a way.
Yeah,
right?
kind of. Yeah. Yeah, and the same thing with the force reset triggers. Force reset triggers. The people, ATF was running around trying to collect force reset triggers from people, and they got a lot of those cases all got thrown out. There are a couple guys that were just sentenced with them out of Texas, and they're all appealing them now. But it's in the last week. There's been a lot of things happening with the ATF and Congress and the courts throwing out a lot of those charges. So that whole mindset is changing. Like Bruin decision. I mean, that guy was a felon, 100% a felon, and his case ended up getting reduced where he actually can possess a firearm now, and that's changing. Bruin is changing a lot of the felons in possession. Same thing with the body armor stuff. If you're not a violent criminal, now you're allowed to legally have body armor. So.
Okay. I think since I've served my time and paid my debt to society and finished my probation and all that, I should have all my rights restored. That's what I think.
And that happens in a lot of the states, like it's Alaska and Texas being after 10 years, once you serve your time, at times with charged within 10 years, you're allowed to have your long guns back. So even a federal crime, you can legally have a long gun. You can't have a concealed pistol.
That's the state law, though, not a federal law.
It's under the federal law.
Kind of like marijuana is legal, but if so they'll go to the FBI building and get high in front of it and see what happens.
Yeah, and there's what happens now. The FBI searches have to put those in Texas and in Alaska, where people can actually physically buy a firearm now. And I
had a guy on the show out of Texas, so he got charged. He was a felon, but in his state of Texas, he could have these certain guns that he had. I think hunting rifles, but the feds came at him and he went back to prison. It's one of my shows like a year ago. Yeah, they got him on that, man, because it's a state law, not a federal law. Even though feds kind of look the other way, but they didn't for him. There was a little bit more involved than I'm saying, but it attracted the feds,
And there's a lot more to it now too, where you have guys that are on YouTube that are felons that are pushing the black powder firearms and showing people how they can legally own a black powder firearm, including a black powder pistol, because it's not a firearm. By federal law, its definition is not a firearm. I
used to wonder. There's a guy here out of the Federal Halfway House here in town, because I'm over there at least once a week. The director lets me in now, and I help guys, find a job and housing and stuff. But one of the guys that got taken away just 2 weeks ago, I asked him why, because he got a pass, to go visit his family stuff, and he went to a gun range, to a practice range, and I thought you can't own a gun. I didn't know you can't fire one or be around it, and they got him on all kinds of violations. I didn't know that.
Even ammo, one piece of ammo, 10 years.
But it wasn't his gun. It was like, he rented it there, and so you can't even rent a gun. You can't have one in your hands. I didn't know that. I thought you could at least go to the practice range,
Yep.
Nope.
Yep, that's correct. You're not allowed to. And the same now, the new gun, there's a company called Burham that makes an ungun. It's a 68 caliber pepper ball gun. And a lot of the guys are getting those. And the main reason that they're getting them is they can travel throughout all 50 states with them. They're not firearms, and they're still a self-defense gun. It's a non-firearm.
How about if I had I wonder, here's a question. So there's the chemical called hydriodic acid, right? If you pour it through cement. If I put that, it won't use through plastic though, especially a hard plastic. So if I was to fill a squirt gun up with that stuff to use as a weapon to squirt on somebody and have it just make their face melt, it's not a firearm. Can I have it?
Well, technically, yes, but if you use it in a commission of a crime, you still got to do the same amount of time
Well, I would want it
as a
for
destructive.
self-protection. You come in my
Yeah.
house, I squirt you with the hydriodic acid everywhere, your body just falls apart in pieces. It just comes off.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
so
and the new things too. I mean, even high end, high caliber pellet guns, 50 caliber pellet guns.
Yeah.
You know, for self defense,
But
there's a
that's
lot of
fire,
guys that are
though.
getting those.
That's still fire. The squirt gun's not. There's no bang or nothing. You know.
Well, in a
Just
pellet gun,
it's
you're
a-
legally allowed to have a pellet gun. You pellet guns are legally allowed to have it, all the way up to 50 caliber, and you can have it, and it's a self defense gun. So it's a deadly weapon, but it's not listed as a firearm. Same thing with black powder.
Well, I mean that's how guns started, right? China didn't. The Chinese invent gunfire. Actually, Japanese did. China went and stole it and claimed it as their own and said they invented it. History lesson, but it came from that side of the world, right? Gunpowder originally was discovered there. I mean,
Correct. Now, let me ask you this question. This is something that is post conviction. A lot of the people maybe a couple of people are watching here. When you get out, what is the deal now with travel? Do they actually give you a travel allowance when you get out to go back to your house?
you'll give me enough for the bus fare, and they give you they gave me it's a 30-hour bus trip. I think I got $15 for to go to McDonald's or something, and they pay for the bus ticket.
Because I've seen different things where it says $200 here or $200 there, and I can't find anything.
You can't have any money on your books, so
Yeah.
I made sure I drained my account. But actually, take that back. I had a couple hundred on my account, and they still gave me the $15 for the food, and they still bought the bus ticket. So I'm wrong. I remember I thought that until the day I got released. The bus ticket they will buy for you for sure. I wasn't sure I was going to get any food money, but they did. It's just that's what they did in Florence, Colorado at that camp.
Let me ask you a question about this then. Where I live, there's no federal prisons. So to travel back, it has to be airfare. There's no other way back.
Well, there's no. I came from California to Colorado. There was no, because there was no camps that had RDOT. So I went 2 states away. What do you mean? You go on They're going to take the cheapest way. They're going to go Greyhound. If Greyhound doesn't go there, it doesn't
come here. No.
Well, how close does it come?
Washington, 1,500 miles away.
You telling me from that prison there's no Greyhound within 1,500 miles from that prison?
There's no prison in Alaska. So if I go to any prisons, I'm at least 50.
For when you live, they're going to have to arrange the airfare because you don't even have a shuttle plane. But I had a cellie from Alaska for a minute there, and we nicknamed him Alaska. So they made him take a Greyhound to Seattle, and then from Seattle they flew him. There's a place called SeaTac that the Feds own. Yeah, but he took the Greyhound there, and then they flew him. But he lived in Fairbanks or Anchorage. We wasn't out in the boonies like you. Yeah, they're gonna have to arrange all that, man. Unless you can afford it and you do it yourself. But then it has to be approved by them.
Yeah, because my self surrender will be if I self surrender, I'll either have to go directly to wherever they assign me to, or I'll have to surrender to the marshals in Anchorage because that's the closest place.
You never want to surrender to the marshals. I'm going to tell you why. You may not. It could be a year before you get to a prison. Especially coming out there, because they're going to put you on. They're going to lock you up. The marshals are going to take you to the nearest county jail or federal detention holding jail that they have, right? Wherever that is. They're going to drop you off there. And if you're at a place once a month, the federal bus comes for people. If they get your paperwork all done in time. Because the bus might be coming in 10 days. Oh, we need to get the paperwork in. You're waiting a whole nother month. Then they're going to take you to the next closest federal detention or county jail. They're not getting until they finally book you on that Con Air. and they keep the Oklahoma City. It's a hub where Con Air kind of lands, but they keep changing where that is. The detention centers, they're using, the Oklahoma City County Jail itself. Then they got a detention center outside of town, but that got too much, whatever it was, black mold or who knows. They keep moving it. I know guys, it's taken them a year to get to their designation, And if you only had a year sentence, some guys never even make it to prison. They just spend their time from county jail to county jail. And when you get to these county jails, you can't get commissary, you can't get mail there because you're a temporary, right? So you're not going to get mail there. They say, well, if you're going to be here any longer, we'll put you on the mail list, which never happens. It's all bullshit. And you're going to be thrown in just holding cells. You're not even going to get you're going to be, when you get booked in county jails, you're in this booking cell. It's just like a slab of cement. You don't even get a blanket, right? You got to wait till you get housed in the main jail. You're not going to probably get housed in that main jail until they find out what they're going to do with you, right? And that's going to, they got to, see, most prison guards, they can't, they'll have 2 and 3 of them go, they can't count past 10. So, they just, so they don't know what to do with you. And it's gonna, and then you got to put in paperwork that's got to get approved. It'll be 10 days before they even know what you're doing. It's that bad there. So never turn yourself into the marshals unless you absolutely have to. I'd rather not show up that day in prison and get whatever they're going to give you 30 extra days or something on your sentence, because you showed up the next day, then go through all that hell I just described.
Yeah. Yeah, because the closest federal location to me is actually Sheridan, Oregon. That's the closest location to me, and they're completely full right now. So the chances, I don't even know where they would put me. I mean, there's, so it's going to be interesting. I got back
you can request where you want to go. I would go for Sheridan,
yeah. And I did get, I got back my my guideline points, but that's different than the custody points.
Yeah.
And they did do -3 on there, and they took out, I think, 4 more other layers too, taking me down to a 24 there. So even though they're asking for 36 months plus 36 months, it says the guideline is 51 to 63 months. And then there's a departure in there in an agreement that I saw that the probation department said that I'm a candidate for home confinement due to my medical conditions and my wife's medical conditions, because I'm 24-hour caregiver for my wife.
Wow.
So it's confusing whether, it's a confusing. Hi, Kathy. How you doing? It's confusing reading. It's like stereo instructions. Nothing comes out the way it's supposed to come out. You read through the document, and one part of the document says one thing, another part of the document says something totally different, and you go, what's really happening here? So,
you're going to hear this phrase a lot in federal prison from the staff member. You may or may not. It will or will not. They never give you a direct answer.
Yeah.
Well,
so it's pretty interesting.
They'll give you a few direct answers,
Kathy's coming up for sentencing next month too, isn't she?
That's Katie, I think you're talking about.
Oh, Katie. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Kathy, Kathy, are you facing prison time? Are you on pretrial, or are you just checking out the channel? What's going on? She writes here, doing good. Missing my husband. Extra tonight. How are you all doing? So I'm guessing your husband's doing some time, or you just miss him. But yeah, well, I'm doing well. I just started a new job for the city of Albuquerque with all my felonies and everything, and I'm a government employee, believe it or not, local government. But it's blowing my mind. $70,000 a year they offer me. I turn 60 next month. I mean, who says crime doesn't pay? They hired me because of my background, so I'm helping. It's a homeless outreach kind of thing, but it's an experimental one. So it's a brand new. They need a guy like me to go out there. They're a lot of people don't want any help when they're homeless, and I'm supposed to go out there, and somehow they're going to listen to me. Most people here in Albuquerque, they've all done time, at least in jail, and I've been homeless before. I don't think there's a card they could throw at me that I haven't used myself. I was molested when I was 5. I got through all that stuff. Um, and they knew this. They came to me. I didn't come to them. But so I quit my other job. I'm actually part time on the other job on Monday night still. But so my life's actually going surprisingly well. But you
Kathy,
guys, I've been through what Brian's going through, and I know when someone, your loved one, goes to prison, they left you, right?
Mhm.
You know what I mean, Brian? You got your wife's going too, right?
No, she's not.
Oh yeah,
She's
you took
dismissal. Mhm.
It's a little different with her because you guys were both accused, but most people, your wife, when one half of the married couple goes to prison, the other is looking at it like you abandoned them. You left me. You made that choice. That was your lifestyle. You didn't put me first, or you wouldn't have done that. And then when you actually go, it gets worse. You know. So
We had to
I mean,
get Kathy. We had to get Kathy to come on live. If she clicks the link, she can come on.
oh, you want to? I'll put it on if you want. Let me get it here and put it on. Yeah, I put it
Plus,
on.
we get a couple more people coming on and talking.
There you go. If you're up for it, Kathy. Now, some people don't want to talk about it, but it helps. It gets it out of what you're going. You don't have to hold on to it anymore. Now, like you're not alone anymore in the world when you talk about it, like on the social media. Back in my day when I was a kid, we did it on CB radio.
Mm-hmm. That's actually how my wife and I met, was on CB radio, believe it or not.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. Find my invite button here. Here it is.
Yep. She lived about 50 miles away from me, and I heard her talking one day, and
Wow.
I was on horizontal beam and decided to turn it vertical and start talking to her. Her boyfriend was treating her like shit, so I took her away from all that.
Wow. And that should be coming on there. I think the link's up now. So there's the link. Anybody wants to come on, I'll take a chance. I can always. You might get a few F words in before I hit the button to get you off there, but I'll take the chance. Actually, it'll be entertainment. Watch
Sure.
See how fast I kick you off. But not you, Kathy. I'm talking to somebody else, but you never know. Your husband's in Florence. I remember now, Kathy. Now it's coming back to me. Because he's not in the camp. I don't think he was in the USP, I believe, and you were worried what was going to happen. I think. Hopefully she comes on. Yeah, that's awesome.
She said she's at work.
Oh, yeah, work. Bring the whole crew in. Work.
Yeah.
Okay. And we got John. Carlisle. Hi, guys. Always good to see you, John. John, you want to come on? I put the link there, man.
Come on, John. Come on and talk to us.
I got to tell you, Big Weeby, his channel was doing time with Big Weeby. He had been in and out of jails, but he's not even really doing that anymore. He does these night shows. He does 4, 5, 10 hours sometime at night. He just invites all kinds of people on the screen. And there's another group they call the YouTube Streets, and there's a whole bunch of these guys. They're all the younger generation, and they always call me OG. I've been on their channels, but those guys are really. I was always worried about this last generation. Are they going to make it? But these guys are pretty intelligent, man. If you ever catch YouTube Streets, there's a whole bunch of regulars that come on there on YouTube at night, and they do these lives, and it's great. And we lost John, but I lost Brian. But John, if you want to come on, man, click the link there. It's right up. It's right a few comments.
Sorry about that. I was clicking over, looking at the.
What you looking at?
Somebody sent me a text, and I was looking at it. One of my friends just got laid off, so he was sending me a text.
Oh, I did. For how long does he know?
He doesn't know. He's down in Florida, so he just sent me a text saying he got laid off 5 hours ago. So.
John's using the same excuse as Kathy. He would, but he's at work. No. in a room with my colleagues. Well, don't they see that you're watching a prison channel? Bring your colleagues on too, and maybe they have some questions, and we can school them, John.
There's a guy on TikTok that does. There's a guy on TikTok that does live streams from an oil platform.
Oh, really? Wow.
That he's on. My wife watches him on TikTok every once in a while. So bring the colleagues in, start talking to them.
Yeah.
You were talking about homeless. A big thing in a plant up here in Alaska. Almost all the hotels in Anchorage have now gone to homeless shelters. They've taken away because of all of the um, decrease in the hospitality up here due to COVID. There's only about 2 regular hotels down there. Everything now is homeless shelters throughout Anchorage.
Well, maybe that's what's going to happen to your hotel when you go.
Yeah,
You know?
maybe.
But I don't think you have a lot of population to begin with. But I've seen a couple of documentaries on homeless in Alaska, and because you think they're going to freeze to death, but they're making it. They're in tents and they got a heater in there, and they make it through somehow. A lot of Chicago, God, I mean, I do know homeless people die out there in the winter when it's cold. You know.
I was in the hospital a couple of weeks ago. I fell in some ice, and I met a guy that was there in January. He fell taking his trash out in Fairbanks. He lost almost all his fingers on his hand, and he had frostbite across his stomach. He wasn't wearing a jacket. He knocked himself out on the step, and he was there for 4 hours. His wife didn't know he was there. So just walking outside taking the trash out here can almost kill you.
I got some training today on because it gets cold here in the winter too. Sometimes it might be 10 degrees below at the coldest, but we got wind chill factor and we're in 6,000 feet. So all the factors. They told me there was a time when I forget who happened to a cop. I think the first time they went to the guy was laying in the street, in the middle of the night, and the cop went to shake his feet or grab him by his feet, and they broke off because they were so frozen. You know what I mean?
Up here, they say that the military guys are found up here with their feet warm because they wear the bunny boots. And they're completely dead, but their feet are warm because they wear those military issued bunny boots.
So wow. They told me if we do go out like that and they're laying there, just to slowly tap where their toe would be behind their shoe, and you just barely tap it. If you touch the foot, it's because they were telling me that story, or some guys are they've been frozen stiff where they can't move. They're alive and they're only breathing because maybe I know how. I mean, they're ready to die any minute. But if you touch them in any way, they're gonna die. It's a whole process of trying to revive them. And that's it. You gotta kind of you want to protect them from anything hitting them. The slightest shake or anything, it'll bust all the blood vessels inside of them. And it was a wake up call today because they showed me some videos on it. Real people who. Yeah, so
looks like you got Rizzo that just came on there.
Rizzo. Rizzo. Yeah, here we go. The Rizzo.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean, love your videos, man. Hope I'm not going off too topic. We don't have a topic, so you're not. But do camps give tablets and allow someone to take college courses via internet connection? Everything except not the internet connection. And if you want to come on the show, the link's up there too. We're just inviting people. But I'll explain how it works. They just got tablets in, but I'm over at the Federal Halfway House almost every week. So I hear all the new things that come in. These guys are just coming out of prison. They had the tablets for the women at first, but now they all have tablets. There's only so many. You don't get your own unless they have enough. But nothing works on the tablet until you pay money. Okay. They're working on having some free apps, but right now you got to pay for everything. And basically it's about $5 an hour, whatever you want to do with it. You can do your emails on it, but the emails there's no internet connection in prison. So if you email me from prison, it's going through a third party encrypted, and then scan for any kind of, what do I want to say?
Keywords.
Keywords, yeah, the word BOMB, I mean, I don't even want to say it on here, but anything like that, the whole thing's flagged. But that email, when you type out an email, so you're going to put it into a system they call TrueLinks, and it looks like it might be the internet. No, that goes to like a motherboard that the prison is going to scan it, run it, encrypt it, and everything before it's approved. Then it's going to go to a motherboard hub to wherever I don't know where, somewhere else, Google or whatever. It's 2 or 3, kind of information center is going to scan it. It's 2 to 4 hours before they get the email that you sent them. There's no internet connection. No.
It's called a Score 7 tablet, Riza.
Okay.
It's you can look it up. It's called a Score 7, and it's a secured tablet that works with TrueLinks, and that company has made these linked together tablets that link together with TrueLinks, so you don't have to be at a terminal anymore. And but you can see it, and after you get out, you can also send that in, and they unlock it for you. So you buy it. It's $123 from what I found online so far. You buy it outright, and then once you get out, you can send it into them, and they'll unlock it. You can use it like a regular
Talking about
tablet.
the tablet? I don't think they take the tablet home.
They do now.
They do now?
They do now. Yep.
Oh.
You buy it on commissary. It's $123.80.
Oh, when you buy it, okay. That's how they solved the problem. Because at first you had to check it out. You could check it out if you were gonna put money on it. Then they had enough to maybe give to people, but I see how they're doing it now. But there's no connection to it. It's like you bought a tablet at the store and you live where there's no Wi-Fi. You can play games on it, but they have a little download station, the TrueLinks. I imagine they used to just be MP3 songs. They probably added some games and stuff on it.
Yeah, they have MP3 songs. They have video now. It's $5 a video, $5 a movie, $2 a song. So it's $1 more than what it is on Apple. And you own those songs. So again, once you get out, you own those songs and you get to keep them.
Yeah, people used to take their MP3 player home and they had to pay, I don't know, 50, 30 bucks. I don't know. They had to pay somebody to unlock it. But also, every once a week, you have to take your MP3. You probably have to do the tablet and you plug it into the TrueLinks. You got to put your fingerprint there, and you have a special code number and all that. So you have to reboot it like every week. If somebody steals it from you, it's useless after a week, and so it's more for your protection. I'm kind of glad they do that, but they don't want people selling it and all that stuff too. And then
if you want to share, you want to share your screen, if you go to Score 7 on Google, share the screen. You can bring it up, and it'll actually tell you everything about that tablet. You can share it to everyone.
Okay.
So,
and I wanted to ask the last part of the question here. Can you take college? You can take correspondence courses by paper mail, and you have to set that up on your own before you get to the prison. And then they're going to mail you your homework. You go back and forth. And there's only maybe 5 in the whole country. And if you Google it, this one college always comes up. And I couldn't tell you if they're reputable or not, but they're probably more expensive than the other 4 that do it because they advertise. But if you scroll down to the last page when you Google something, and it's gonna be a lot cheaper than they pay to be first, right, on that list. So there's 4 or 5. They're called correspondent courses, and there's only certain classes that they offer, and it's all done by paper. So you're gonna handwrite, or they have typewriters in there, or you can actually do. The TrueLinks has email, but they charge you 10 cents a minute. And if you got a few hours of homework to do, they have typewriters, and you will order on commissary. You're going to order the ribbon for the typewriters. Yeah, ribbon. That's typewriters had ribbon and your own typewriting paper. The ribbon has the ink in it, or maybe they might have cartridges. Some of them, and you fight for a typewriter. They only have so many, and you'll see in the law. That's in the law library. And most people in that law library, they kind of have their spot, right? And they've been there for 2 years or whatever. And if they're not using it in the morning, it's cool, but it could be a problem sometimes in the law library. But they don't get violent; they just get protected. This is my spot, and you'll see. But I think the good people are in the law library. If you're going to make friends, and if you think you're not going to make friends there, okay, go through that whole prison all alone, and good luck with that. Okay, but the law library is a good place to at least start to network. Okay, there's a lot of educated people. Yeah, they weren't that smart because they got caught. I get it, but there's other subject that they're smart on, and I hope that answers your question. I know
that one group out of Southern California, he started doing a new course now where he's mailing it into people too for cryptocurrency. He started it 2 weeks ago.
Oh, and he's kind of playing middleman and sending it off to the college for you, or
Yeah, and the prison professors, the nonprofit one.
Michael Santos, no, please don't go through him. Oh, he started a nonprofit now.
Yeah, he's got a nonprofit running, and he's sending in the courses.
Look, him and his partner Justin need to go back to prison, and I've heard of over 100 people. I just recorded calls. They're out for your money. Okay? Their videos are great, good information. Do not hire those guys. They don't deserve a penny. They need to go back to prison. And I say that all the time. Don't get me started, because they're right. They're the first people I can't stand are child molesters, and Justin Paperny and Michael Santos. They're right next. They're next. They need to learn their lesson, man. Call them up yourself, and when they start hitting you up for $4,000 just to talk to you, you'll see what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's another guy too that's a doctor that's out in Maryland. He charges $7,500 to do the medical referrals. He's out in Maryland.
For RDAP?
Mm-hmm. This guy does doctor.
I do once in a while for people, and I got a guy, and it's $2,500, and it's or your money back. You don't get an RDAP, and a whole lot of other things come with it. Because everybody, the cheapest on that one is $10,000, and I know of. Justin Paperny, sure. I think $25,000 from him. So
yeah,
I can get it done for 1/10 of what he charges. So and I would answer the phone. Justin charges. And lawyers don't even charge as much to take a phone call as he does.
Anyway, looks like Riz is saying he runs 4 or 5 times a week and is buying track shoes. Good luck with those, because I see they're all over the place too. When I'm looking at the commissary notes, you never know what they got or what and each one's different. So if you go to different locations, they won't let you take them with. They said so.
If you have cheap Walmart shoes with no brand names on them and stuff, a lot of times I'll take them in. They sell the shoes they sell on commissary. You're not going to get top of the line stuff. You might see some Jordans or something. And it's $300 on commissary, and you're going to go. These are $40 at Ross Dress for Less or something. You're going to pay a couple $100 on commissary. But guys,
I heard they have. And I heard this on one video where somebody was talking about they have $high boots that are lifetime guaranteed, that certain prisons have, where they're work boots. And if there's a problem with them, you send them back. I forget what the name of them are. It's a brand name boot though.
They're going to issue you work boots if that's one of the jobs. Yeah, I had some nice boots when I got there, and they switched brands before I left, and people wanted my boots when I got offered money for them. When I left, but I just gave to a guy that didn't have much when I left. What John's saying here, they don't know about my legal problems. I am so scared of getting fired over it. He's talking about his work there. If I have 2 kids and a wife, that I have to leave as much money as I can before I get sentenced in jail. I get it. So you're watching me. I meant that maybe you got earbuds on and they don't really see what you're watching. Or if they do, you can just, I don't know, something on YouTube. I had a job, John, on pretrial. I was working for Rainforest Cafe as a waiter, and I had management experience. I got hit up almost every month by different managers there. They wanted me to, promote me to manager. I didn't want to tell them. And finally, this new general manager goes, "Look, I know everybody else has to be manager. Why don't you take, what's going on?" And I took him aside and I told him the truth. I was going to prison, and he said, "Wow." He said, "I know." He came back to me the next day because I thought about what he said. Because I'm gonna tell you what, man. You get out of prison, they move us around a lot. I could be in another state by the time you get out. You got a job as a manager, just look me up, man. So, if you're a good worker there and they've gotten to know you, chances are they're going to understand, because you're at work and you're going to go to prison one day. Most people that end up in prison, it's all over the news. You're gone. You're locked up. They don't get to work with you for a year or two, So, and John, I know you got the wife, the kids to think about, but I mean, you should tell them that when you do get a sentencing day and all that, they deserve that much to know that once that day comes. You know.
John, I don't know what you did, but I give you a little bit of my background. In the last year, I've been fired by everyone, including my internet service provider, my electric company, my postal service. They're all refusing to bring me mail. They're all refusing to all kind of do other things. I live in a small town of about 4,000 people, and everyone just reads what's in this little tiny newspaper as what the DOJ put out. They don't really know what the truth is. So take it with a grain of salt, figure out what it actually is, and go from there. I am looking at a conspiracy charge for wire fraud, which is a kind of a catch-all for everything. I don't know what you did, John, but like I said, you'll get these pushbacks from everything from your electric company to your internet provider if you're in a small town, and it's amazing how quickly they'll all turn against you. And then you'll see people in the grocery store, and you go, "Hey, what did you write on Facebook about me?" And they have a totally different outlook on it, and they apologize to you because you come up to them and say to them straight up, what is your issue with me? You've known me for 20 years, and all of a sudden you read something that may or may not be real, and you have no idea what it is. And they just change their mind.
The journalist that when they wrote stories about me in the paper, he never came to me and asked my side of it. So I tried to hunt him down. I even went to the Oakland Tribune's office, and they escorted me off the property. When they asked me while I was there, I said, "Well, I'd like to talk to the journalist regarding what." Well, he did the story on me and never asked me anything. It's all one-sided. I want to tell him my side.
I had my attorney come up to me and give me a hard time because I said they offered me the plea bargain, and what they offered me is what he said was true. And he told me that I did an interview with the person who wrote the newspaper. And I told the attorney, I said, even if I did, it's the truth. They offered me the agreement for the dismissal of my wife's charges. That's what I agreed to. And that's the only thing I said. I didn't say anything else, but my attorney had a problem because I talked supposedly to a newspaper person.
I don't remember signing no non-disclosure agreement, so
Exactly.
But
John, what did you?
I want to actually go on.
I was going to say, John, what did you do? Or what did they accuse you of doing? I'm sorry. What did you do that you're worried
about? Riza, to answer your question there, did it have to be approved school? See, the mail that you're going to get from any school, it can be mailed. The prison's going to be fine with you getting. It may be considered legal mail, and maybe just be considered personal mail, but it has nothing to do with the BOP. They're just letting you're doing the homework and sending it back to the school. The BOP's not involved. They're just letting you send mail back and forth. So it doesn't have to be approved by the BOP, but you should approve it. Make sure it's going to be an acceptable degree that corporations will accept. But the BOP, it's nothing to do with them. Now they may have to have permission to send, certain books to you and stuff. In a camp, you can get hardcover books too, especially if they come from Amazon or something like that. But the BOP, what they're teaching you, unless it's how to build a bomb, because they're probably going to make sure see how it is. But yeah, you don't need it approved. You need to approve it. And I remember. So it's called ACE classes, Adult Continuing Education, and the inmates teach those classes, but they count as first step back credits now. But yeah, they wanted me to teach tax preparation. But I told them I'm already learning how to flip houses from a guy here who's here for he's here for real estate fraud, And then and there was a guy that a chemist from I think it was Dow Chemistry. He lives here in Albuquerque now, so he was teaching us chemistry, basic chemistry. It's all taught by inmates. It's a riot, They're all teaching you their crime, but they make sure they don't teach you the crime part, and they know the difference. They went to the dark side, but now they're, so it's all approved, The real estate guys, a lot of real estate fraud going on when I was there, lots of it, and 3 or 4 of them were teaching different classes, and you got bankers there, doing time, teaching financial classes, It's just going to be that way.
Rizza, you asked me in reference to it. Did I serve time yet? No, my sentencing is in on May 3rd. So I have sentencing coming up May 3rd.
Florence just got theirs, huh? Yeah. Because I know they're just now getting them, so they probably he's at the USP, Brian. So they may not even have that many for everybody there. At first, only the rich are going to get them. Even in prison, there's rich guys. You know how you tell the rich guys in prison? Because they're not living in, fancy houses and that. But they'll have 20 pairs of shoes, right? They'll have as much commissary as they can fill in their locker, and they'll have a guy that comes and cleans their cell every day. Another guy comes with a buffer and buffs it. Another guy comes and does their laundry. It comes back all folded and stacked. Another guy comes at night and brings them their meals, cooks it out of the microwave, and that's living large in prison. And some guys just have to have it that way. They just never lifted wouldn't even know how to clean a toilet. But when the guards see that, guess what job they get? Orderly, they're making them clean toilets. They get a kick out. The guards get a kick out of doing that to somebody. But that's the rich. That's rich in prison. Oh, and they've got a cell phone, and they pay somebody to store it for them. They probably pay somebody to dial the number for them and hold it to their ear. But there are rich guys in there. It does, but they don't impress anybody but themselves. Nobody's impressed with your 20 pairs of shoes and the guy, mopping your floor every day. The only people there, it's their ego that's impressed. Well, that's my personal view on it. Kathy said it was $200 when I paid for my husband's. What was she talking about? $200 would be
tablet, maybe.
Oh yeah, tablet could be, yeah. And it's same for movies, yeah. What'd you say, Brian? $5 a movie?
$5 a movie. Yep, that's correct.
There's enough movies in the. They bring in new movies all the time, and a lot of TVs have VCRs or DVD players. You can probably save your money and watch movie in the TV room, but I guess you get the comfort of laying on your bunk.
Yeah, you get to sit there and watch it on your own time.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. Remember, oh yeah, you already read that when you run about the shoes.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. My biggest concern is being, where I'm going to end up, how far away I'm going to be, because there's no way my wife can ever come visit me anyway. Hopefully it works out with the medical stuff that they were working through, but we'll hope that on one side and hope for the best.
Some camps have the video phones. The women's prisons all have them. I guess they still have them, and some camps do. So here's what you do. Research on the BOP.gov site. Maybe you might have to call each one and ask them if they have the video phones, and then you request to go there, and your reason being the truth that it's so far away for your wife to drive. At least I could see her on a video phone, Your Honor. And I think
and the Score 7 tablet offers that. They do offer
the tablet via tablet. Well, then that's not going to let you go to where you want to go. Then I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the things they just added to it. It was one of the newest things. I like
that, and I wonder what the hours, because there's certain hours for the phone and all that. But if it's on the tablet, I guess at 3 a.m. you could sit there and talk to your wife, right?
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing they said too is the plug-in earphones go bad regularly because they actually use a regular earphone.
At least once a month, because I had a radio, and see the MP3 players come with the FM radio. I wanted AM so I could hear Coast to Coast with George and Ori and those types of shows. It's not on FM. But I had to buy the earbuds, man. Sometimes 2 weeks we would go out. They go out. They're just cheap. And they're charging me like $10 for them. It's the same ones I get at the Dollar Tree, man. Yeah, the Dollar Tree, they're even better. But $10, so I paid damn near $10 a month for new earbuds. And I don't know how to make them last longer. They're just cheap.
Yeah, Rizza, the guys, everyone's telling me that the white collar guys are going to be the friendliest guys that are going to be there, because most of them are looking at a way to get back out to make more money. So
everybody was friendly though. I mean, when I won't say everybody, but the youngsters were not. The young guys were not.
Most of those guys have a chip on their shoulder, and they haven't gotten
Yeah.
over it yet.
But I mean, if you're that kind of person like that, people hate you anyway. You know, you walk in. If you're an asshole, man, you're not gonna make. You know, if you got a good
Like my wife.
personality, if you're a
Like,
friendly guy or a good personality, just be yourself. Don't get in anybody's business. Don't be looking in their cells. And, you know, don't be. If your mouth gets you in trouble, learn to not open it before you go there. You know.
my wife said there's two people in this world: people that love me and people that think I'm an asshole. Most of those people that think I'm an asshole have gotten themselves on that list for a reason. No, I got, I, Riza, what are you, somebody looking at white collar as well, Riza?
So, well, I mean, it's probably it's either if he's talking to us, he's on pre-trial. It's either white collar or it's drugs. Really, that's the main kind of two drug and the drugs. He could be. There was people they send money through the mail because in Alaska you might
Yeah.
pay I don't know $500 for a 8 ball of cocaine and I can get it for $50 in San Francisco. $450 profit. I'll mail you that. 2-3 times a month. I'm only making 4 or 5 grand a month off you. I'm not mailing big amounts, but to the feds, you're going to go do some time over that, though. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah, and you know, he was asking me what time I'm looking at it. The feds are asking for 36 months plus 36 months of supervised. My sentencing guideline is set for 53 to 61 months. What am I going to end up getting? Well, I have a bunch of medical things and detainers that are medically related that I might end up with just home confinement. I don't know yet. We'll see. I'm planning for the worst and expecting the best is what I'm trying to do.
Hey, John. Brian. I got to go around 7. I got an appointment with one of my YouTube guys doing his personal narrative letter. So we got an appointment at 7:30, and I got it set up for it. We've had it all week, so I got to get out here in about 5 minutes. So I know we got some questions here, but Brian, I'll give you the last 5 minutes, and maybe you want to answer questions. But I gotta go help somebody. He wants. I got to help him get the letter written before, so we can get it in time for the judge and all that. But
Sure.
so right now he's more important than you because he's getting sentenced first. So.
Well, yeah, and you and I need to talk too about that other thing after you, if you have time later tonight too.
I scheduled like an hour with this guy, so
Sure.
But we will talk on that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are
And
you able to put the questions up on the board? Do you have that capability on your side?
I'm looking at it. Yeah, it's
But you can't put it up like I just did.
Yeah. I won't. I'm not on on YouTube chat, which is where they're chatting at the YouTube chat. I can send it in StreamYard, but I'm not on there.
Where were the white collar guys generally friends? Oh yeah, you answered that. Yeah, well, not all of them, man. Some of them are snobs and stuck up, and they're all innocent. I'm guilty. I did it, and some of them like. They get an 8-year sentence. I'm all that. It's going to take you that long to realize that you did it, man. Some of them, are they ever going to learn? You're in prison, you still don't get what the lawyers
and Riza,
the lawyers that go to prison. Oh man, try to tell them that they're guilty. Oh God.
Yeah, exactly, and that's like pharmacists. The same thing with pharmacists. They try to tell them anything is ridiculous too. Rizzo was asking about being a lot of time. Not really. The guidelines can say it is anywhere from 1 year to 20 years. It depends on how much money and what what it looks like. It's and no, there's no such thing as too many questions.
Yeah, don't apologize for that. My number's on the screen in that yellow box. Call me if I don't call you right back. I'll call you as soon as I get the time. But yeah, call me anytime. Brian wants to give you his number. He can. Yeah. More questions. I live for your questions. Okay, they keep me alive every day. That's why I wake up. Because I'm a washed up. I turn 60 next month. Prison, jails, homeless. What do I got to give to the world? You call me and you want my help. That's why. You give me a reason to live every day. So call me, okay? I don't care about you. Just don't stop asking questions ever in life.
I have a Gmail account, Gmail Talk account, guys. If you want to call me, Rizza, I'll give you that number. It's 775-600-2713. 775-600-2713. Feel free to call me.
John, I'd love anytime, John. Let me know. Call me or email me. Everything underneath the video, I use that my phone number and email on there too. And I have. Last I checked, I think I have 300 videos. The numbers on all of them, man. So,
And I think Sean, you want to do this every Wednesday? I mean, these guys want to get back on Wednesday nights.
In a row now. Let's do it, man.
Yeah.
Right? The third Wednesday.
And I have no problem. These guys want to get online and talk. If you guys can have times and it works better on different time too, let us know. Sean and I will work it out where we can get on live and talk to you. We can definitely, and I think the biggest thing here is strength in numbers. The more people we can talk to about what's going on in our lives, I think it's going to be better off.
7 o'clock, an hour later would be better for me. Tonight I did this early because I got the other guy, but I have to do it at 7:30. I don't get off work till 5, and I'm talking mountain time. But 7, because I had to rush home from work and turn the computer on. But anytime 7 or 8, something like on Wednesdays works for me. Does that work for you, Brian?
Yeah, anytime. That's fine with me. And if these guys have time where they're not at work and they want to talk,
we'll schedule you in, and anytime, man. I have no problem with it. I got to go, guys. And I wish
have a good night.
Over to you, Brian, but I need the computer too. I got to do some work for this guy.
No problem, Sean. Let's talk later. Give me a call when you're done. After you're done, text me or call me, and then we'll talk later.
Yeah, and Rizza,
and
anybody that's listening, man, you can call me, and if I don't call you back, if it's late at night, I might not call you the next day, and I have a full-time job, but I will get you, man. I always do. I don't think I've ever left somebody out. I hope not, but I do my best, guys. All right. God bless you all, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. It don't cost you no money to subscribe if you don't know that. It just helps the channel get bigger.
Thanks, Sean. We'll talk next week. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.